Hello guys, since 4 days we are solving Leetcode daily problem. Today's Leetcode daily problem is a 2540 is a minimum common value. In this problem is a given two integer array nums1 and nums2. This is a sorted in non-decreasing order. Return the minimum integer common on both array. If there is a common is present in nums of 1 and nums of 2, then it simply returns that nums of 2, and if common is not present, then return -1. Note that the integer is set to the common to nums1 and nums2 if both array have at least one occurrence of that integer. For this question, just we see the example number 1. In example number 1 is the input of nums1 is a 1, 2 and 3 and nums2 is a 2 and 4. In this there is a both are in a sorted order. There is a 1, then 2, then 3, then nums of 2 is a 2, then 4. We are return the common element with the smallest value. For this, there is a 2 and 2 is the smallest value. That's why we will return the 2. For this example, there is a 1, 2, 3, 6 and nums2 is a 2, 3, 4, 5. In this also, 2 is a common value and their value is the smallest. That's why we will return that's 2. For solving this question, we have four approaches for nested for loop, two pointer, map, and binary search. In nested for loop, there is a two for loop we were used for iterating nums1 and then nums2. If nums1 of I is present on nums2, then we will simply return that integer nums. If there is not present in this, then we will return -1. But in this case, our time complexity will be O of n square, but in constraint there is a strictly is less than or equal to the 10 raised to 5. That's why we just our solution will be in O of n or O of n log n log n. But in this case, our time complexity will be O of n square. That's why this solution is not suitable for our problem. In second approach for solving this question, we are using the two pointer approach. For two pointer approach, we just our one pointer will be nums1 of I and second pointer will be nums2 of I. If we are just simply checking if nums2 of I and nums1 of I is equal to, then return that number. If there is a nums1 of I is the smallest than nums2 of I, then we will just L plus plus. That's why our 2 and these 2. If both are equal, then simply return that number. Okay. For this two pointer, our time complexity will be O of n and space complexity will be O of n. One another approach for solving this question, we are simply using the unordered map. In unordered map, we are some first all the initialize our key value our iterate our nums1 of array and push that into the map. For example, in this we are putting the 1 into the map and 2 into the map and 3 also put into the map, and at the time of nums of 2, if this number of 2 is present in our map, then we will simply return that number. If in entire map, if there is no element will be found, then we will return the -1. In this solution, our time complexity will be O of n and space complexity also O of n, because we are simply iterate all of that element and push into that map. That's why our time complexity and space complexity will be O of n. This is our solution for using map. Using map, we are simply declare the unordered map int mp and iterate that iterate that nums1 of array and push into the map, and simply find if that nums2 of I is present into the map, then return that number. If our for loop will be end, then if our If we don't found the number, then we will simply return the -1. In this question, our time complexity and space complexity will be O of n. We are just simply run that code and submit. This will be accepted. For solving this problem, one binary search approach is also applicable in this case. Using binary search, we are just check if nums1 of I is present on nums2 of I or not. We are using binary search because in the question we are just seeing this, it is in sorted in non-decreasing order. That's why we are using our binary search approach. We are simply check if 1 is present in nums2 or nums2. If not, then no problem. Just iterate our nums1. And if 2 is present on this nums2, then if our nums2 will and nums1 of I is present on nums2, then we will simply return that nums1 of I. For this approach, our time complexity will be O of n log n and space complexity will be O of 1 because we are not using any extra space for solving this question. Using binary search, we are simply run and submit that code. Okay. We are just declare the int answer 0 and iterate our for loop of nums1 of I and simply checks this 1 is present in nums2. There is no present 1 in nums2. If check 2 is present in nums2, if 2 and 2 will be matched, then simply return nums1 of I. Okay, for this, for binary search, we are using the STL function in binary search. Binary search nums2.begin, nums2.end, and nums1 of I. This is our value, and we are our STL function just return boolean value. If number is present, then it will return 1, and number is not present, then it will return 0. In this case of nums1 of I and nums2 of I, 2 is present in this nums2. That's why it's return the nums1 of I. This is our solution. For this, our time complexity will be O of n log n because we are iterating our for loop n times, and for searching that element we are O log n complexity because our binary search time complexity will be log n. We are just checking our code is submitted or not. Yes, it's fine. uh, Subscribe us for solving